featured on the Taylor Show is intended for entertainment purposes only. All stories discussed herein are based on alleged events and personal opinions. Nothing shared should be taken as fact or professional advice. Any viewpoints expressed are solely those of host and do not represent any business or organizations.
Hello, and welcome back to the Taylor Show, the show where we say things 3 times until they make sense. And today I have I'm going to say the S word, star of Below Deck Down Under Season 4. Brandon McLaughlin is here.
Hello. Don't say star. The fans love that. It's not my show.
It might as well be your fucking show at this point.
Absolutely.
How are you feeling?
A little uneasy, I'll be honest, about the show itself. But in entirety, I guess in life itself, I'm great, successful, I'm here.
I'm great, I'm successful, I'm here, I'm beautiful.
I'm here, I'm going through menopause, I'm sweating, it's hot outside. I mean, what else? What more can you ask for?
No, it is of note to my listeners that he walked in here with a fan, with a mini fan.
It is hot in the DMV right now. It is hot.
So we have to address the last time that we talked because we made waves on the internet.
Yeah.
Allegedly, we're going to say allegedly a lot in this episode just to save my legal team a little bit of trouble later down the road. So allegedly Raquel and her camp hate us.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we said that she worked at Walgreens.
Oh gosh.
Please.
Could have been CVS, but we said Walgreens.
We were being really nice. Quarter happy, healthy, whatever. And then allegedly Ashley, our friend Ashley, she was annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're making enemies.
Everywhere I go.
Same, and I think that's why we get along so well. We just can't piss off Brie.
No.
That's,
of course not.
That's just the one Bravo person we can't mess with.
Well, she's salt of the earth anyways. If you piss off that girl, you are really doing something.
There is something wrong with you.
100%. There's no debate.
No.
Anyone else in this earth, even including me, you could be all right, let's see both sides.
Yeah.
You're on Brie's bad side. It's you all day long. I don't even have to hear your side.
I know.
I don't have to hear it.
I know.
I don't have to see it. Helen Keller would agree with Brie without even being in the room. So it doesn't even matter. Just saying.
Love it.
Just saying.
No, you're so right. I love that you mentioned Helen Keller too. She's my personal hero.
Oh my God,
do you believe that she exists?
Debatable.
Yeah, it's debatable, right?
Yeah.
Do you think she flew a plane?
I don't think she flew a plane.
I know, me neither.
I think she was very judgmental for not being able to see. But honestly, I feel like a lot of us these days are. You know what I'm saying? When they try to judge you on your taste, and I'm like, okay, are we related to her by chance?
Right. Well, have you heard the theory that Helen Keller is actually the first famous lesbian?
I have not.
Yes. People say that she was having an affair, allegedly, with her speaker, her handler. I don't know what you call them.
Oh.
Her guide of sorts. Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting. I just saw, I don't know what to say, but some joke. And it's if 2 blind people have kids, who's watching them?
God.
I was fair though, right?
No,
they have
fair.
a baby. I read it online randomly yesterday, so this is funny that we're bringing it up now. But literally, I was that's actually a good point. Who's responsible?
No,
were you watching the kids? Neither were you.
That's true. It's God. It's up to God at that point. I feel like we should crack our beers.
I do too.
I'm actually going to ask you to crack mine because I can't because of my nails.
Oh. Gentlemen, there you go. Oh. I'm a gentleman.
Thank you so much.
There it goes.
Woo! Beautiful. Have you had this kind of beer before?
Well, I'm not really a beer drinker, but
okay, we love that.
Some of us are trying to get in a Speedo this summer, but
okay. We'd have to talk about Below Deck Down Under.
Oh, do we?
Season 4.
Yep.
First, I want to talk about how great you looked. When you stepped on that boat you owned it.
Thank you.
And all of your friends looked amazing too.
Yep.
You stood out.
Great group.
You definitely stood out.
Great group. Honestly, though, the group that we brought on were phenomenal.
Yes.
In every sense of the word. Lena is a very dear friend of mine. Her husband, Pat, hilarious. When someone tells you their husband or friend, they're funny and you're all right, whatever, we'll see into it.
You're I'm hilarious.
I'm hilarious. And then that man steps on and I'm you're funny. He is, but he's also the sweetest person ever, which is so interesting that he got such an interesting edit. Coming from the nicest man on the planet, might I add. But leaning into the edits, hence why we're here.
Exactly. So, I've gotten to know you. You're not bitchy.
Yeah.
But you came off like a diva.
100%.
A big diva.
Well, 100%. Well, to be honest, I think we should start at the beginning, which would be season 2, episode 1.
Yes.
Where I first boarded the yacht, and it was with Captain Jason.
Yes.
Who's
your friend, by the way?
Who is a friend of mine,
yes.
Where it was portrayed that I told him to F off, which is false. False information. It was not accurate. And all the fans were perceived to believe that because that's exactly how production set it up to be.
Right.
And the truth in that matter is that the other guests, when we got off out of the water, which I understand we shouldn't have gone swimming. I get it. You're welcome for the ratings. Just saying that.
Facts.
But when we got out of the water, the other guest was really nasty to him. And I you can see me in my drunken stupor looking like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And she had said, this is my cat, or this is my boat. I paid for it, and was cussing him out. And that's when I had shifted to her and said, no, bitch, F off, to her, defending Jason. And so the way it was completely spun that I was then saying it to him, that was my issue with all of that. It's one thing to like lean into a storyline. I get TV shows, I get how they work. Mm-hmm. If someone is the villain and they lean into it harder, I understand. But to have that as a polar opposite where I was defending him and it was portrayed and I said it isn't okay. So I kept my mouth shut for years until it happened basically again. So I just wanted to start off from the beginning and make that clear. And I think all the viewers and fans that go back and rewatch it, you'll see it now because the friends of mine who did go back and watch it, they go, you're right. You never see me say it to him. You hear me say it,
right? But
you don't actually hear me say it to him. And I would have never said something like that. It's all of my friends call me and they're like, that's not you. And I'm like, because it didn't happen.
Literally, you jumping off the boat and swimming in the middle of the night.
That's me.
That's so you.
That's so me.
That's so you.
That's so me.
You knew that the answer was going to be no when you asked.
Oh, 100%.
And you were totally going to do it anyway.
Which is why I asked for forgiveness, not for permission. But in that boat, I was like, all right, let me just ask.
And dare I say, one of the best scenes in that whole series is you being, can I have some more champagne? And then be like, no, go to bed,
no,
Brandon.
You cannot have any more champagne. That's me, though. To a T. That's me, not listening, jumping in the water and asking for a champagne afterwards. 100% all day long.
1,000%.
I will own it.
So for season 4, did they ask you back specifically?
So they asked for us to come back.
Okay.
They asked for me to come back to bring on guests. They said, can you fill this charter? Sure. I said, absolutely. So they bring me back. I got some amazing guests around. One of them was Miss, oh my gosh, she's going to kill me, USA or Miss Universe. I know they're very different. Deanna. And we brought some amazing guests. Lena is a hairstylist. She owns a hair salon up in New York and Jersey. And she actually is how Barbie and I both know her through Watch What Happens Live. So that's how we all got connected.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
And it's all, very incestual within Bravo itself, but love Lena. So we brought this great group on. And right beforehand, they messaged me about provisions and said, by the way, we can't source anything that you had asked for. Mind you, this is like months. Anyone who's been a primary on the show knows it's months in advance that you get with them. You do a preference sheet that's 800 pages long, very clear.
Sure, yeah.
It's tedious. You do Zoom calls, you do everything else. So days before, basically we're flying out, getting told they're not getting anything.
Yeah.
So to me, I was blonde once. I'm not, no offense, an idiot, but I was blonde. You know what I mean?
Blonde.
You know what I mean?
Let's
Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
yes.
and I'm like, girl, so I'm looking at it and I'm like, something's up.
Yeah.
So I got upset with production and I said, this isn't okay. I have a feeling I know why we're doing this. We're the last charter and we got to empty some coolers out. So the day before we get told, hey, we can source some, but we need extra. And being told that a day before, it's like paying for an all-inclusive. And the day before they go, wait, you guys want to eat? We weren't aware of that. You guys wanted food on this all-inclusive? Well, now we got to figure something out. Mind you, as a primary, this trip is based upon like what I've chosen for my guest.
Right.
My guest experience is based on me.
Mm-hmm.
So they're excited. I've, come up with all these games, activities, and dinners of what I wanted them to experience. So now you're messing up that because now any issues look like it's my fault. It's my issue that I didn't, I guess, connect with production the way I was supposed to, even though I did.
Right.
So we get on the boat and I get told basically that again. Hey, by the way, there's some issues with provisions. So now my guard is already up, right? I'm already sitting here now looking around like, all right, what's about to happen? And if you pay attention, that conversation that I had with Ben then makes a lot more sense now. When he pulls me aside and says, do you still want exactly what you asked for? Right? And I'm like,
I thought that was weird as a viewer watching it before I talked to you. I was like,
It's very strange.
Yeah, it was weird.
Very similar to you're planning your kid's birthday party. It's a Candyland theme for months on end. The hour before the party, the planner goes, do you still want Candyland theme? Right? And you're kind of like, what does she, right? You're taken back for a second. And you kind of see even my reaction. I'm like, like, yeah. What do you mean?
Yeah.
But again, in my head, I'm like, I know what's about to happen. We're not going to get what we'd asked for.
Mm-hmm.
So every single time the plates were coming out that the viewers don't even see it was like there were 5 different plates that were 100% vegetables. Okay. And I'm not hating on my vegetable people, but it was just 5 different plates. And that's why Daisy's like, do you want this? And I'm like, because that was the 4th different plate that they had handed me that I never wanted. So then they come out with, I think it was pasta with a lobster carcass. And, of course, the viewers think that there's lobster on there. It was pasta. It was a garnish on there. And then it was a bowl of shrimp. So, and then,
Did you want a burger?
I wanted seafood. I didn't want a burger because here's the thing.
But the burger looked so good. To be fair, it looked amazing.
So Ben's food is phenomenal. Ben's food is absolutely amazing. He can't cook what he doesn't have. Let's just put that out there. It's not Ben.
Yeah.
You can't cook what's not in your galley.
Yeah.
So I had planned it basically that we were going to go do swim afterwards and, do all that with the bathing suit reveal. And I knew I wanted, and by light, I meant something that wasn't going to be heavy like a burger. I know the viewers and fans are kind of doing this whole extravaganza, can't be light. Light to me is something that's not going to weigh me down like a steak
1,000%,
or anything. That's to me, you can have a spread, which is the extravaganza part.
Totally.
With the towers and crabs dumped on the table and lobster, you name it, right? That's a spread extravaganza, but it's light. You can pick at it. You can go swimming. That was the plan. So when they did all that, of course, at the end, I'm hungry. I also know that they feed you alcohol, like no other. So I'm like, I got to eat. I am going to make, some bad mistakes on here if I don't eat. So that's why I was like, we need a burger.
Yeah.
So that's why I was at that point. I was like, well, if I'm not getting seafood, I need to get something of substance.
1,000%. Yeah.
So
now I have to ask for all the viewers, is your friend really that picky of an eater?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I thought for sure that was exaggerated.
Nope.
No, he really is.
No, he is. Yep.
So funny.
Yep. He is just very finicky. And I can tell you one thing, for someone who dropped $10,000 for Jason to put a Speedo on, he can eat chicken strips all day long. So let's just put it that way. You pay $10,000 and then even more at the end.
Yeah.
Because that tip, let's talk about it, $35,000.
We're going to talk about it.
So if we want to be picky, if I want a seafood extravaganza.
Yeah.
So, but for him, he's that picky. I've hung out with him outside of that. We were in New York together. And he likes what he likes and he doesn't when he doesn't. But,
I low-key love that.
Oh, 100%.
I love that.
And I don't know why it's so hard to cook for someone who's so picky. Put a little mini cheese pizza, put a chicken strip on, with a garnish. So, and that was another thing to kind of lean into with that dinner was there were not one plate that he didn't have. It was 3 courses of the 7 courses that he didn't eat. 3. And at one point, even Jason and I were sitting there and I was like, that's wild. And he's not going to say anything, but it's me as a host.
Yeah.
Whether you're on TV or not, if I'm a host at a dinner party and my guest has 3 courses and nothing in front of him and he's looking around, you should speak up. I wasn't ever nasty to any of them, which is why I'm friends with the cast. But I'm allowed to speak up and say, hey, that's not okay. Like, I shouldn't be eating if my guest isn't.
I think it's something like as a viewer that we have to pick apart. Like if we were to rewatch this episode, that anytime that you had a complaint or seemed diva-ish, you were so kind to everyone that you were talking to. It was the music and stuff that made it seem like you were being just such a bitch.
Yeah, and it is.
But you
it
were.
Is. I have, and there's a lot of actually fans out there that have watched and they're like, I don't know what you guys are saying. Like, he was not nasty. He wasn't rude. He wasn't. No. And I get it. It comes across diva-ish. The amount of moments where like you kind of see me gazing away, I'm like counting to 100 in my head, like don't say something, because the whole goal on there is for the guests to speak out and say something against. Which, let's be honest, the bagel, I could have said something. The bagel sat down there for 5 hours, and you can see how stale the thing was. Yeah. But the funny thing here is, again, I have a camera right here, so I'm eating. I'm like, I know how this is going to be portrayed. So I'm like, it's good. But it's funny because I just kind of let it go. But if I would have said, this is hard, just as that, the viewers would have gone into me and said, see, he's never happy. So really, you can't win, right? If I would have said, hey, like, this is not okay in any way, they're going to come after you.
1,000%.
So
did you feel like you were the only charter guest in your group of friends that was kind of targeted in this? I'm the only one ever to go on the show as a guest 3 times. 3 times,
and mind you, there was a 4th charter in the works. And that one was because I'm not doing it again.
Good.
I'm not going back on there. It was going to be an iconic charter with the guests that I was going to bring on. But my point in that is I'm not going on because it's honestly, and one of the reasons I'll be honest about doing this podcast is it's rolling into my business. And that's the part that I'm not okay with.
Right.
So it's one thing if like I got on camera and I did something I wasn't supposed to, and it was, I spoke out and I actually own up to my mistakes, but I didn't make any mistakes. So that's the part where getting the heat. And I also you go on TV, you get what you're gonna get, right?
Totally.
You can be the juiciest, most ripe peach of the bunch. There's always a bitch in the corner that doesn't like peaches.
Yeah.
There's always someone that's not gonna like you anyways. I get it. Not everyone's cup of tea. I understand. The point is there's been business that has almost come my way and then has been asked about the show and said, is he that same way in real life on TV? And the friends and mutual friends are like, no, like I'm telling you, you got to meet this guy.
Yeah.
So, and that's really one of the biggest reasons why like I didn't speak out before. And then now watching what they did was, it was wild. All 8 of us in the group chat were like, what episode did we watch? And what did we film?
Wow.
The crew said it. But there's comments online that I'm not even gonna have to disclose, but there's comments online from the crew saying this was not portrayed this way. This was, missed out on that final episode. And
it wasn't touched on, and I think because I know you, that I know that you are friends with the staff on the boat. Like, I know that these are your real life friends. It is not fictionalized. And like, I can say this, like Brandon is friends with all of these people. Yeah. Did you feel like that was completely overlooked? Because it didn't touch on your friendships at all. Because Barbie's a close friend of yours.
Barbie
very
and I
close.
talked about that afterwards. Yeah. Barbie is a very dear friend of mine. I do anything for her. And the same thing for me. If I needed her right now, she'd be on a plane. And it hit that.
Yeah.
When I walked up, we jumped around, we hugged, we had, we chatted on the boat, we would sit there and have heart to heart, whatever, you name it. But the friendship we have was definitely overlooked. It was hidden on there. And I think that if they would have shown that, it would have shown that I wasn't this diva because they're like, all right, well, doesn't make any sense. The tip didn't make any sense if I was unhappy, right? So they can only control so much. So they definitely didn't show what they needed to not show, and they definitely showed what they wanted to.
Hello, hi, hey. Are you so tired of the dating apps? Are you exhausted of being single? Well, if you are, I have a solution for you. And it is called Alternate. Like the name suggests, this is an alternate type of dating experience. You are matched with people based on your interests, your likes, your dislikes, not based on what you look like. And plus, everybody is ID verified. So you don't have to be guessing if this person in the picture is actually the person that you're gonna meet at dinner, at the bar, at the zoo, at a cafe. I don't know where you date, I don't know what you do, I don't know what your vibe is. You're not going to a baseball game with someone that you barely know, because one, this person is ID verified. They have interests that are the same as yours, dislikes that are the same as yours, and you're not really risking your safety. That's their big thing. It is safety first. Alternate launches on July 4th. Right now you can join their waitlist. There are no free tiers, which means everybody on the platform is looking for love, and we love that here at the Taylor Show. Go to alternate.com and jump on the waitlist now. So speaking of the tip, we're just going to talk about the tip.
Yep. Just a tip.
Just a tip. Thank you. The great pause and comedic timing there.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride. So, is it disclosed prior to you going on the last charter? Did you have to say, okay, this is the tip that I'm going to come in with?
No. So
is that your money?
It is ours. It is ours. Everyone's responsible for tips. Everyone's responsible for tips. So if there's a rumor out there that they're not, you are. We're responsible for the tips. And then at the end of the charter, just as similar with any charter, you can add to it.
Got it.
After the service. So you start with something. And then at the end, I went around and you say, hey, what do you feel like the crew deserved? And you add to it.
Wow.
And then that is what is delivered over to them.
I'm glad we're addressing this because there is a Reddit thread about the tips not being production's money and not the actual charter guest money.
No, production isn't paying that. They're not paying for everyone's tips.
Wow.
Nope.
Yeah, so why would you have such a terrible experience and then give the biggest tip of the season?
100%.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're not going to do another charter?
No, I'm not going to do another charter. And the thing is, we had such a great charter. And I think that's the disheartening part about all of this is when we got on there, I had come up and curated such an iconic few days.
Yeah.
Down to I created Speed Date the Crew. And we get on and Eddie, iconic questions where they were like very personal, but not, we got real deep, down and dirty with the crew.
Okay.
The moment we got on the boat and we spun in like a circle and we each got 60 seconds with each of them. But I also did it because I had been on before. And there's a lot of times there's so many people on these boats that you don't meet half of them half the time unless you're really primary. If you're, on there because they're not really, they're focused on the primaries, right? And the guests are just kind of there unless they do something crazy like jump off the boat. But I wanted my guests to really get to know the crew too, because then they felt comfortable. I didn't want them at the end of the charter to go, well, who is that person? So
nice.
But I spent so much time figuring out what I want to do for everybody. And you can ask all of my guests, the amount of times I would not even eat my dish first and I would ask everyone, are you okay? Are you good with yours? This and that. Because I am caretaking of my friends. I am the friend that when we go out in public, I'm like, you're going to have a stool. I'll stand. If you need a drink, I'll make sure you have one. If you're hungry, I'll get you food. That's just how my nature. So it's 100%. Interesting to see how it's portrayed differently on TV is when, again, going back to Pat, how they can portray it as a negative. But then also with the Speedo, like we had so much fun, and I came up with this idea to come on with Speedos. I had messaged Jason before and said, I've got a surprise for you.
I love it.
And I had the Speedos made, and we go out, and I'm wearing mine with his face on it. That's not shown, and which it made more sense why I handed him one, but it was portrayed as like, he didn't want to do it. Meanwhile, we all were taking pictures with him and we're all running around the boat. Joao ended up jumping out of the cake with one of them on for my birthday that night, which they sped through. So just seeing that, and you're looking at it going, none of that is how our charter was. We actually had a very enjoyable charter, but a lot of good, fun drama. We did, what was it? One of them did beach lunch where we did tug of war with the crew. And we were so evenly matched. Somebody pulled the rope from behind somewhere and they let it go, where the rope ended up being drugged down the sand. I'm upside down, Speedo to my ankles. Like, everyone's rolling around in the water. And it was hilarious. And I was like, that's absolutely going on there. Nothing. We got Bagelgate. We got Bagelgate for 12 minutes talking about the bagel, 1, 2. And I'm like, that's what's on here?
Dude, I know. The whole time I was like, just make a new bagel.
Make a new bagel.
But
it's interesting to me, and I'm not a producer, and I don't want to talk about someone else's profession and how things are done. But it's interesting that they thought that is what the fans were like on the edge of their seat.
Yeah.
They weren't going to be on the edge of their seat when maybe they sprayed lavender on one of my guests' pillow who's allergic, and they had to come up and they had to get help from other guests or other crew members. Maybe that would have been better than Bagelgate. So there's moments like that are actually like good drama, I think, because a guest of mine, I'll just say it, Deanna, she's allergic to lavender, and she comes up and she's like, and
oh my God, that's terrifying.
Catch her breath. Yeah. And so an hour later, she's dancing to Dancing Queen up on the boat. So I don't know if it was adrenaline or whatever it was, but she was good after that. But when she went to like go to her room and it smacked her in the face. But there was a lot of stuff, but it didn't have to be so portrayed as negatively. And that's where I think as a society, we have these issues because everything we watch on TV is so negative. And then you go to the comments and you get, even for mine, the threats that I have online and this and that, even for seeing that, some of these people are crazy.
Yeah. Oh my God. I posted one thing about Amanda Batula and I was like, okay, we'll get into it. But I said basically, okay, like, she's a person too. We can't tell her to go kill herself. Let's be a little kind on the internet.
Right. It's TV at the end of the day. I know that these are real lives, whatever. They are real lives. But this is TV. It's not that serious.
So I'm like, okay, no, don't tell her to kill herself. I had over 1,000 comments. About 80% of them were, Taylor, go kill yourself.
Yeah. No.
What?
Like, are we okay?
Is everybody all right?
Are we okay?
You don't know these people.
I have no idea because there's never been a time in my life have I ever thought about DMing or commenting something either honestly that negative, but that to anybody about what they've done on TV. There's just never a moment that I have. And you see some of these people that are like, you don't like lobster, and they're like, die, and people are like,
he doesn't know what seafood really is.
But some of the comments were like, you're on the wrong side of the dirt. And I'm like, what do you mean?
You're like, please elaborate,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, so what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
But it's just so interesting.
Oh my God.
But honestly, do better.
Do better.
Be better.
Do better, be better. We got to talk about Watch What Happens Live.
Yes.
How was your experience on there?
It's always fun going with, again, the crew because I go with them and they are dear friends of mine. And we went 3 times this season. It was with Eddie, Barbie, and we always have a great time there because we don't get to see each other all that often. You go and film these shows and people are from all over, like Eddie's UK, Barbie's Miami, Ellie's Miami. So they're all Joao, I think he's in New Zealand, I think. So, but it's just nice to see everyone come back together and kind of spend some time in New York. And it's nice to kind of be away from the cameras and just kind of, let loose and enjoy yourselves and kind of like that, like the real friendship, because there is a real friendship when the cameras are gone. This is not some preconceived notion of like, oh, okay, they're only friends on the boat. And then now off the boat, they don't even speak. Yeah. So, and there were a lot of comments that actually did defend me on that. Thank you, SCU. And they were like, has anyone, I remember one and I was like, girl, I couldn't like it enough. She was like, is anyone even paying attention to any of this? She was like, the crew have like commented on everything he's posting. Like they're obviously clearly friends. Like, what are you all missing? I'm like, girl, and she and I even actually DM'd and chatted. I was like, thanks, babe. And she's like, no, like these people are wild.
It's crazy how quick people
I do have to talk about the way I was able to spin that seafood extravaganza with the help of my dear friend Zarina, where I was getting, after it aired, I messaged her and I said, hey, I was like, I need your help. I was like, look at how this is spun. I was like, it wasn't meant like this. Yeah. I said, but obviously my verbiage on TV, which I get, they cut certain things, but also trying to articulate that with cameras around and I'm stressed and a couple of drinks, it's harder. But I called and I said, what can we do? And I came up with this idea and I said, why don't we do expectation and then show reality? And the way that it literally spun, I have friends that messaged and said, I've never seen someone being able to twist that back the way it needed to be so quickly. The hate comments from Monday night to Tuesday afternoon when it was posted to the rollover, I have DMs from people saying, hey, just saw that. Sorry for my comment previously.
I love that.
I'm so sorry. They're like, I get it now. They're like, you are absolutely right. I understand. And again, Ben, great food. There's no problem with Ben. No qualms at him at all. It was what was given to him. But it was just very interesting how that went. I think it's 600,000 views now and climbing. Oh my God. How that one video was able to see, so I could show people, look, this is what I was expecting. Yeah. This is what I got. Yeah. This is why I wasn't happy. And I'm not an asshole. So.
Well, exactly. And you're vocal, right? So you're going to go on social media. You're going to talk about this. But maybe your friends that were on the charter with you, they're probably getting the same kind of like heat. I can imagine that they're getting negative comments and stuff. Yeah. And you must feel some sort of obligation to stand up for not just yourself, but your crew, like your crew.
100%. I'm always that person in the group. I know a lot of people think I'm extra and I'm loud and aggressive, but I'm like the defense. Like I'm not going to be the first person to like say something, but I will be the last. With that, like, and to me, it's also like, you can talk about me all day long and a lot of it, I laugh it off. But if you're talking about them, especially with a lot of them, like they didn't put themselves in bad situations. Right. Like, so for example, like Pat doesn't deserve a bad rap at all. He's the nicest man in the world. He honestly just kind of wanted to kind of fade in the background and he's allowed to be picky, but he's getting so much slack on being picky and being called out. And so there's names that he's being called and it's just ridiculous. And then I remember Libby said something about, which I love Libby. She's so funny. She said something about, the cake. She goes, it tastes store-bought.
Oh, yes.
And it was, right? But you're looking at it and you saw him buy it. She said it tastes store-bought and they're like, die.
Yeah,
again,
literally.
And you're like, I don't know what else, right? So she was right. And they're like, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if she's right.
Literally.
She didn't say it with attitude. She just said, tastes store-bought. So, but with that, I think also in life in general, like I'm no different on TV than I am in, I don't want to say real life, but out in the real world. So I'm the same way. If someone says something like that to my friends, or if I'm eating again at a dinner party and they don't have food, I am going to speak up. I'm never rude. And that is what has killed me the most on this is I'm the person that can go into a smoothie place twice and they're going to remember me. And I don't mean that in a way where it's like, look at me. I mean, like, I'm just very like outgoing and loud and I talk to them and I get to know them. And there's times where like, I went to Starbucks yesterday. There's a line. Mine coffee was ready before I even got up to the front and they said, here you go, Brandon, you're good. And it's just those relationships. So like, that's the real world. And then seeing my perception on TV, it's not it. Yeah. And I think that's the disheartening point. It's not, you get these comments online that say like, oh, he got a bad at it. And that's what it is. I'm not here. If that's what you want to believe, by all means, you're allowed to believe that. But going out with me for 5 minutes to any restaurant in DC, you're going to be like, oh, maybe not, with the bartenders or the servers like, what's going on, sir? So it's
totally.
So that's real life and that's perception. So I think people need to, when you're watching reality TV, you need to kind of turn that brain backwards a little bit because if they're portraying it in some way, maybe look at it through a different lens and you might see the truth behind it. Because now watching this episode back, you're going to see a totally different narrative than the one that they portrayed.
1000%. I try to get this across to all of my listeners because we talk about reality TV a lot on this podcast. And I know a lot of my listeners have very strong opinions on things. And they'll DM me, they'll message me, and they'll say like the most vile things about XYZ. And it always takes a moment to like, let's recalibrate. We don't know them.
Right.
And like, I can talk shit on this podcast all day long. I don't know these people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know Raquel in real life. Yeah. Do I not like her? Yeah, allegedly. But I don't know her in real life. I did make merch that said brand new and unknown podcaster though. So, I mean, I love that for me. So we're going to talk more about Bravo gossip. I want to hear your thoughts on Summer House. What do you think? I've been dying. I haven't texted you about it because I'm like, I want to know your opinions. Like, tell me, what are you feeling?
I feel bad that this was all done on TV because I can only fathom what they're going through with if I'm getting the amount of hate over a seafood extravaganza, which is nothing. I cannot even begin to think about what they're dealing with out in the real world, right? Out in society, being able to walk outside. And to be honest, there's like pits in my stomach with that. And not saying that, who's right and wrong and all that. Obviously, we know who's right and who's wrong. But being able to go out, they're still people, right? Yeah. So it's almost like, what are you expecting from them? Do they make a mistake? Absolutely. Would I be telling them as friends of mine and be like, you effed up? Yeah. But to me, I can also say to a friend, you effed up, but still be their friend, right? Like, I see you. I can love you from a distance a little bit. I will still be there always. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, there's a lot you have to do to me as a friend to really push me out. Right. I mean, burn. But for me, I'm always there. No, I'm the same way. Me and Nate were talking about this earlier today. And my friend Kennedy always says, Taylor, you got to stop bringing in the strays because then I have to feed them. And I'm like, oh. I like that. I need to stop bringing in the strays. Yep. Friends. You come home, I'm collecting them. And I'm like, I can fix you. You're literally, person. That's me with friendship. I need to stop. And then I get burned later or scratched in the back by them. And I'm like, what's that? Yeah, Who is that? Which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it this time? So you love Sierra, I'm assuming. Oh my gosh, of course. Have you met her? I have not met her. I feel like you guys have met her. Oh, 100%. You met her, absolutely. I think she's an absolute doll. She can articulate very well exactly what's going on. She can keep her composure. That's what I like about her. Yeah, absolutely. And she just seems like an absolute gem of a person, though. Yeah. So she really does. You can tell. And I think the heartbreaking part is like her heartbreak in that is you can see it. Like, this isn't like some facade that she's putting out there. Like, oh, look, poor me, like trying to write it. Like, you can tell it broke her. Yeah. And she's doing all she can to like keep it together. And it's tough because she was there for Amanda, right? She was ride or die. And she was put in uncomfortable situations. And that's the hard part is when you're that good friend for so long and you were put in very uncomfortable situations to defend them. And then they do that to you. And then you rethink all of what happened. Absolutely. So it hurts 10 times where you're like, I wouldn't have done any of that then. Exactly. Because maybe she's not friends with certain people when you defended that one. So exactly. Yep. It makes it 10 times harder. Do you think if you had a reunion for Below Deck Down Under and Andy Cohen's in the middle, you're all sitting there, do you think you would have taken a beta blocker or like done a little something like Amanda and West did? Or do you think you would be just straight-laced and you would go at it? I think I would be straight-laced and go at it because I'm not hiding anything. Yeah. Like, and it was funny. Everything that I've said online, I'm like being able to prove in certain ways. And if anyone ever said that I was lying about even the beginning with the Jason thing, I have proof of that too. That I didn't say that to him. So, but to me, like, I'm not hiding anything. It's not like there's something like I'm saying one thing and there's a direct video of it being polar opposite. So for me, I'm like, I don't mind confronting, them basically on what they were portraying me as. So, does Andy Cohen like you? I don't think so. I'll be honest. I've met him 1,000 times and he doesn't remember me. Like literally, I'm telling you, I have a photo with him and I won't post it because it does not look great. You said, I don't think so. I don't think so. He called me out when I was there last time and he's like, why are you in a white tux? And I was like, I'm matching Barbie. I was like, because so it wasn't planned that we were matching, but I was like, oh, I'm matching Barbie because it did match her. And he was like this. Like, that was his reaction. I was like, okay. Got it. But he's looking at everyone. He's like, why are you wearing a white tux? Like, it wasn't like, it looks great. It looks horrible. Take it off. You know what I mean? But, it wasn't any of that. It was just like, why? What's this? And I was like, I can see that happening. Yeah. I can see that happening. Yep. Okay. What do you think of his new boyfriend? Have you seen his new boyfriend? I have. I mean, hopefully. They look cute together. Yeah. They aesthetically, I think they look adorable. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Honestly, I feel like for Andy, he's always all over the place. Yeah. I hope at some point he can slow down. I mean, maybe it's perception of what I see him as, right? But maybe he's just doing too much. He is getting older. And he's got 2 kids, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, at some point, you're being burned at both ends, right? So it's like, all right, maybe he is. He just needs to take a step back. Maybe be nicer.
Here's a crazy question. Okay, we leave here today. Your phone rings. It's NBC. It's Andy Cohen. He says, listen, Brandon, we've been seeing your social media stuff. We see what you're doing. We want to give you your own show, 1 season. What do you say?
Let's do it at this point. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
But I also
have to be part of the executive producers because you guys are not getting me again. So that would be right there. I would have to be part of production because you're not twisting anything. And my thing is, I don't think you don't have to twist anything for me to give you a good show. You know what I'm saying? Just go out with me for a night or a week and see. You don't have to twist the narrative the other way. I think jumping off the boat and all that. And then honestly, that part of me defending Jason would have been great. You know, 1000%. TV2 is me being like, no, girl, that ain't happening, you know?
And honestly, they need a DMV show on Bravo. They definitely need to tap into this market a little bit.
I agree.
I think so. I think you'd be the perfect person to organize that. I say that as a friend of.
Yes.
NBC, friend of. Okay?
Right there.
Write it down.
Get the contracts.
They're like, bitch, we're not even letting you on Watch What Happens Live yet. Like, let's calm down. I've been in like the bartender circle for probably 2 months now. And they're like, this week we passed on you. This week we passed on you. And I'm like, what did I do to you?
Yeah. Well,
what did I do to you?
I wanted to do it also because they brought on the guests before me on as the bartenders. And I was like, oh, how can I go on? And they were like, no.
Why
I was like, oh, you can portray me in any way you want, but I can't bartend. I can't serve you a drink.
I can't pour a fucking drink.
Literally,
like, come on.
Literally.
That's so funny. Every time there's a guest bartender, I'm like, who did you sleep with?
Literally.
Who's your agent? Like,
who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
Who are you?
You have some random book coming out. No one fucking knows who you are.
Literally. There's a children's book coming out in 25 years. This is so-and-so. I'm like, okay.
Meanwhile, we had like 10,000 downloads in our last episode. So like,
hello, I think I had 3 million views on my on my Instagram in the past like week because of all this. So I might not be running a children's book.
So I think we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the fact that you're a full-on real estate agent.
Yeah.
Like you're living a double life. 1, you're a reality TV star. 2, you're a kick-ass real estate agent.
Thank you.
Want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. So I am a top producing real estate agent in the DMV with Sirhan, which is Ryan Sirhan's team. We just came here in August, I believe, of last year, and I'm blessed to be on this team. So I truly am. It's a dream come true. Aww. It is wild because it's a full circle moment. I actually used to watch $1 Million Listing in New York with my mom 10 years ago. And my mom would be like, that's you. And now I literally work for him. And
that's so cool.
It feels like it fits for me and my personality and the brand. It's kind of merging, my TV side and my real estate side, my, passion. A lot of people, they always ask, they're like, what do you want to pursue in like reality TV? You're not on reality TV doing nothing. Right. Just to be clear with everybody, you're not doing nothing. You're not just a reality TV star or TV influencer. There's a career, right? You're doing something. So real estate is always my bread and butter, and I absolutely love what I do. Yeah. Truly do. I need a lot of Botox for all the stress my clients give me. But I love all of you. But it is. I enjoy what I do, but I'm hoping one day that I can combine my real estate with Sirhan and TV.
Yes.
In the DMV.
I love that idea.
So that's, we call it like monumental listings or, something along the lines of that.
Okay.
Yep.
It's patriotic.
Yep.
We love it. I think to the point of you being a good friend, this ties into the real estate thing. Maybe like 2 months ago, I started my real estate classes.
Yes.
And so I sent Brandon a voice memo and I was like, hey, I started real estate school. Like I'm a little nervous. Brandon responded probably like a week later. And then you sent me the longest voice memo apologizing, 1, for missing my message. And 2, you were like, please let me help you. You need anything, let me know. I think that's just a really good testament to my audience of like, he's a good friend.
No, and I appreciate it. I might be delayed in responding sometimes because my phone goes off all the time and I get overwhelmed and I get home and I'm like, I try to catch up and I'm doing so many things at once. But I do. I think because I've had fans that reached out and asked me and I'm like, I want to help everyone I can. I want to give you the advice. Any good advice. I want to be there. I do. I genuinely, passionately love when other people succeed. I have a girlfriend who I'm getting into modeling. She's thought about modeling forever. And I'm connecting her. I got her an interview with my modeling agency, which I recently just signed at THE in DC. So that is exciting. I think we signed 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God.
So
long overdue.
Long overdue. It's a dream come true.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be signed by somebody, and where it's very early on still. But I got her an interview there, and to me, I want to help. It was her passion too, and the way that this girl is so excited and so thankful. And to me, I'm like, I am that friend where if she's up on a billboard one day, I'm like, get it, girl, right?
Yes.
Like I'm happy that she got there. So.
Oh, see, that's so special. And that's something that you don't see a lot of on reality TV in general. Not just Bravo, not just their shows, but you don't really get the heart of people as much, or you only get certain cast members.
Well, a lot of people, they want you to be successful, but not more successful than them. So it's, you know, especially on TV, right? As long as you're kind of riding that wave together equally.
Totally.
But all of a sudden, if one of you gets a bigger wave, there's an issue. And that was actually, there's an issue with that with me on the show. One of the guests on there and I aren't really friends anymore. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I wish her well. I do, regardless of what she thinks or says about me.
Was it a friendship breakup? I have to know.
Yes. Yes. We had a great time. What is it, like season, reason, or lifetime with friends?
Yeah.
And we were friends for a long time. We helped each other out. But there's sometimes it's okay to have friends separate. And that's what people need to know.
Thank you for saying this.
It's okay to even come to a mutual agreement and say, you know what? I have love for you. I want you to succeed, but this isn't healthy for me.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to take a step away. You take a step back and then go live your life. And a lot of times, both of them flourish more.
Totally.
So you sometimes rely on each other too much, and you realize in a relationship too, sometimes you know, you sit there and you're like, all right, well, we should stay together. We've been this long, and it's not healthy. So
wait, can I tell you something crazy?
Do it.
I might cut
Always,
it.
yes.
Do I cut it out? No, I'll keep it in. So I've had a friend for 10 years. Found out recently, fake last name. Okay. Fake marriage 1, fake marriage 2, fake where she lives. I'm not even kidding. I did a background check yesterday and I found out all just because I was suspicious of some things.
Should I tell you my name's not Brandon right now, or should
wait,
I tell you later?
Stop. His name's like Jeff.
My name's not even
This
Brandon.
is Jeff.
Oh my god! Is she about to call me out right now?
You're like, it's me. It's me.
You're like this. So Daniel,
you got anything to tell me? Actually,
oh my god,
isn't that wild?
That is insane.
So like, I haven't said anything. What am I gonna be like? Hey, that's not your name. You can't do that.
No, you just like
can
call
you?
them out by their real name on accident, right?
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
You know, no, I get it. I just feel like it would slip and be like, okay, Danielle, right? You know, and they're like, whoop.
Okay, so there's no potential for you going back on the boat.
No, there was. And I think I was a fun guest, but I also, my advice to anyone in the future is if you have a business, don't do it. If you have an outgoing personality, don't do it. If you're a picky eater, don't do it. So, you know, if you expect to get what you ask for, don't do it. You know, so I don't know. To me on that is basically know that it's a show, which I get. I knew that before going on. I'm not an idiot, but know that they're there to make a show and at your expense. So keep that in mind is every guest pays different. I don't know what other people's contracts are, my contract's different, but expect that even the amount of money you're about to pay, they will do certain things to stir things up or to offset or try to create drama. So know that drama's on your dime. It's kind of like, you know, they're filming your wedding and they do things on purpose. It's still your wedding. You still paid for it, but things were done on purpose to create drama for the show. So if you're okay with that, by all means, then go do it. Was it a great experience? Absolutely. Did I meet some of my absolute best friends? Eddie and I have become so close. He stayed with me twice already in DC. We've gone to New York. I'm supposed to visit him in the UK. He is an absolute gem of a human. Love that man. You know, and Barbie and Alicia, I saw her up in New York. But the best part, to be honest, were the friendships and relationships I made with the crew and cast. What was that? It was just in New York, and I saw a couple of the cast from the other one. Captain Carey was there.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So it's like a big fam. You know, we're all.
It is. It's very interconnected.
Yeah. Rainbow was up there. I looked over at the bar, and Rainbow comes walking in. It was salt of the earth too. So she was so sweet, and
she's so cute.
Yep.
I've yet to meet her, but I've only heard amazing things.
Oh my god,
amazing
so nice.
things.
So
Same
nice.
with Barbie. Haven't connected with Barbie,
Love
but I hear that she is genuine, kind.
Yep.
And I mean, she's beautiful.
And I love that she went back on for her final season to kind of go on and clear her name because she's a hard worker. She's the sweetest person ever. And again, would do anything for you.
Yeah.
But I feel like since she has a voice, you know, and she used that voice when she didn't like something before, you know, it's portrayed a certain way, but she's a strong woman. And a lot of people don't like that. So
strong women with loud
I'm glad that
opinions.
she did go back on. It was nice to see her, even from my final charter for hers, you know. So it was,
So do you think when Bravo or NBC watches this episode, they're going to be mad?
I hope that they watch this in a place of like, it actually hurt watching that last episode because this is a year of anticipation after we film it. And then you see that. And it was just such a letdown on what we filmed and what we experienced, and all of the fun that we did put on there. And I don't mean fun, and I understand no one wants to watch people on jet skis, but we did have a lot of authentic fun with the crew. We had a lot of good moments from the speed dating. I think the fans would have really loved that. The tug of war was it was so funny. And then the themes and all of that jazz. We interacted so well with the crew, and I do think the fans do want to see more of that. I mean, and the friends of mine, and when I even posted some videos online, a lot of people were like, this is what I miss. Like, I didn't see any of this on there. But, and the other side of it is, I know that it's not about us, but I was deeply hurt by some of my guests having like their ear in it.
Yeah.
You know, they had like 2 seconds, but they actually did, like Diana went down the slide and Joao face planted her with his, you know, so, and it was so funny. When you hear all us go, oh, you know, he's behind her and he's like trying to help her up. And there were so many funny moments that people would have loved to see, but there was a clip. So I had 3 of them that they hosted, because remember, we don't see it beforehand.
Yes.
The crew see it. We don't. But they had a watch party and they were humiliated in front of all of their friends.
That sucks.
And then another friend of mine, she was like, I'm glad I didn't have one.
Yeah.
That she was like, I'm glad I didn't have a watch party. And if that's what you're getting out of it, why would you do it?
You're right.
So every single one of them would never do it again. They're all amazing people. So if that doesn't tell you right there that there's a problem, I don't know. You know, so it's not just me. Every single one of them were so saddened by it. They all called me and they were like, this was not what we filmed.
Did anyone blame you?
So they didn't blame me.
Good.
They didn't blame me. And I went from what I was told is it was supposed to be more episodes and there was time that ran out. But still, the rushing of it was wild. And then the thing is, you rushed the things that you shouldn't have rushed. Joao jumping out of a cake for my birthday in a Speedo, I think was what everyone wanted to see.
I rewound it.
You know what I mean?
I had to rewind it,
freeze the frame.
Yeah.
You know, so there was that. But again, we had Bagelgate and we were focused on the seafood lunch, right? Why don't you, if you take out Bagelgate and seafood lunch, there was 20 minutes that you could have shown everything else. But I don't know. I think it was more, I'm not speaking out because I'm angry or about, you know, the edits. I'm upset with how it was edited because that's totally not who I am on TV. And it was also just not what we expected.
I should have brought you a bagel basket today. How cute would have that been?
Was it still cooking?
Yeah, they're
who's
still
going to bring it up?
Yeah.
Because we need to be clear on who's bringing it to me.
That's very clear,
Is it the galley or is it...
Brandon, thank you so much for coming on the pod today. Where can my listeners find you?
So I'm on Instagram on Brandon MCL90, and then The Real Tea with Brandon on TikTok.
Awesome. Go give Brandon a follow, like the episode, subscribe. If you have not rated the podcast yet, go and do that because I'm bribing all of you guys with a $100 gift card to Rent the Runway. I'm picking one winner. We need 100 reviews on Spotify or Apple. That's fine if that's your vibe. And I'm going to pick a winner once we get to 100. So go rate, review, and stream the other episodes of the podcast. Bye, little gremlin. Yes.